DreAllDay.com.
So what we're about to talk about right now is one of the things I specialize in, which is building a brand, specifically a personal brand. And one of the things that a lot of people ask me, about, I want to build a brand. What's going on, Angel Prophetic? I appreciate that. What up, Dan Dare One? People ask me about building a brand. One of the things they come up with, one of the challenges people have is, what am I going to talk about? What am I going to write about? What will I speak about on video? But another thing is what their persona is going to be when they're building their brand. Is it a separate persona of who I am as a person and who I am when I'm doing my thing, when I'm running my business? Number one thing that all of you have to understand here is that when people are buying into your brand, is that they're going to buy you before they buy anything else that you do. And if you watch me for the first time, make sure you please swipe and share. Let people know that they can come into this from your Facebook, from your Twitter, so they can catch this live stream. And while you swipe, and also follow me, because we do these Periscope streams every day. I deliver this type of content all the time on mindset, on confidence, on belief, on business, on branding, on success, on basketball, and everything in between. So make sure you are following me so you can catch all the heat as it comes out. I know it's getting cold a lot of places where y'all live, but it's hot anytime you turn on Periscope, and Work on Your Game University is in session. So make sure y'all catch this. What's going on, Leah, 15, Celine, David? What is WOYG? Can somebody inform WOYUR69 what WOYG stands for? Can somebody help him out? What's going on, Asia Carey? Yes, thank you, Vivid 3JLC. Exactly. All right, so there's your answer. Anybody want to know what WOYG stands for? Now you know. Shout out to everybody in Russia. So as we get back to the topic here, we're talking about building your brand. I see we got a lot of people in here who want to know about building your brand. What you need to understand here is this. When you're building your brand, people buy into you before they buy into anything that you're doing, anything that you're saying, anything that you're offering, any ideas that you have. They don't buy you. They're not even going to hear anything that you got to say. Have any of you ever gone somewhere where somebody, let's say a salesperson was offering you something, or somebody was talking to you and they were offering you something that you actually needed, but the problem was you didn't really like that person? You ever went to talk to a salesperson who was selling something that you actually wanted, but you just didn't like the salesperson for whatever reason? Maybe they were kind of rude. Maybe their breath didn't smell good. Maybe you didn't like the way they looked. Maybe you knew them from somewhere else, so they reminded you of somebody you knew from back in the day who you actually didn't like, and you ended up not buying what they had, even though you actually needed it. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, right? Because why didn't you buy it? You actually needed the product. The reason you didn't buy it is because you didn't buy into them as a person. Or you ever talked to somebody who had all the right information, like they told you exactly what it was, or even you. Let's just use ourselves as an example. You went and you copied exactly what somebody who's better than you did. Like somebody who's doing great in sales. Let's just use sales as an example, but you can apply this to anything. Somebody who's really good at what they do. You're copying every single thing that they did. You copy the way they said it. You copy what they said. You copy every single word that they use, and then you go use it, and then you're still not getting the same results. And you wonder, like, wait, why am I not getting the results? I did the exact same thing this guy did. Or you see a basketball player do a move on TV or on YouTube, and you copy the move exactly as they did it. Like the same movements, they shot it from the same spot, the same dribble and everything, and you did it, and you didn't get the exact same results. And you wonder, how am I copying exactly what this person did, but I'm not getting the same results? How is that happening? The reason why it doesn't happen is because, and I understand I'm using basketball as a figure of speech here, not necessarily meaning basketball, but people are not going to buy into anything that you have to offer unless they buy into you as a person. So when you're building your brand, the number one thing you got to do is not be a fake version of you. Don't try to create a separate person. Like, all right, this is me when I'm doing my business, and this is me when I'm with my kids or with my family. I understand this. People buy into you as a personal brand when you're being 100% who you are. Do you understand what I'm saying? You got to be who you are as a person at all times, because that's what people are buying into. If you got to put on a mask and remind yourself, oh yeah, I'm not me right now, I'm this person, or I'm not that person, I'm me, then you're not going to be real. Nobody's going to buy into you. Your energy will be weak. Nobody's going to believe you, and nobody's going to buy into what it is that you have to offer. So the first step in establishing your brand is that it's something you don't even have to think about. Just be who you are. And the challenge that a lot of people have with that is they think, well, if I'm just being who I am, nobody's going to buy into it. Nobody finds me interesting. Nobody thinks what I had to say is worth paying for or worth paying attention to. So what you have to understand is this. There's a huge audience of people who want to know what you have to share. And that's one of the things I'm actually going to share on my webinar on personal branding. This is a free webinar that I'm going to be putting out on my website. And if you want to sign up for my webinar notifications, just go to DreAllDay.com/webinar. DreAllDay.com/webinar. That's where I'm going to share all the webinars that's going to be coming out, where I'm going to let people know exactly what you need to do as far as building your brand, as far as creating the content, as far as which platforms you're going to use, how to use those platforms. If you want to make videos, if you want to write blogs, you want to start a website, I go over all of that stuff, which platforms on social media to use, how, why, when, and where, and what. I cover all that stuff in my webinars. But let's get back to the branding program. Let's get back to the branding topic that we're talking about right here. People buy you before they buy anything else. So if you've ever talked to somebody who has something to offer to you, they were showing you some opportunity, they were showing you a business, or maybe they just wanted you to cooperate with them on something that they were working on. If you didn't buy into who they were as a person, even though you liked the idea, you wouldn't do it. Have any of you ever been in that situation where somebody offered you an idea and you were like, you know what, that's a great idea. An idea sounds great to you, but you're looking at that person and you like, yeah, the idea is great, but I don't think I could follow this person. So I'm not going to do it because I don't think going with this person is going to help me execute this idea to its fullest. It's the same thing that people are thinking when they're looking at you. So when you put yourself out there as a brand, you just got to be who you are so that people understand exactly where you're coming from. They buy into you as a person. Then they'll buy into whatever you have to offer. And I use myself as an example. When I first started coming out with YouTube videos and even Periscope, for those of you who just recently found me, my blog, my website, and things like that, I wasn't even thinking about a persona. I wasn't thinking about business. And when I first started blogging on YouTube, and I wasn't doing it for business, all I was doing was just putting content out because I wanted to put out content. And the reason I built my fan base initially is because all the things that I was putting out, I was just being who I was. I was just talking normal. I was just playing basketball how I play. I was answering questions the way I would answer it. If you were sitting right in front of me in the park or in a mall somewhere, I wasn't thinking about, oh, well, maybe I shouldn't say this, or maybe I should say it this way. Maybe I should print myself that way because people are not going to buy into it. Somebody might be offended if I curse. Somebody not like if I use this terminology. Some people might not like this story. I didn't think about any of that. I was just being who I was. And that's how I built my fan base initially, just being exactly who I am. And I'm still doing that. I'm still being who I am. I've evolved over time. I've grown. I've gotten smarter. I've gotten wiser as a person. But guess what? Your audience is going to grow and evolve with you as long as you grow and evolve. You don't want to be stuck being the same person in 2015 that you were in 2005. You'll probably start losing fans. So can I take any questions from anybody in the live studio audience here? We're talking branding. I saw some people had comments. I didn't catch those questions, but we're talking about branding, people buying into you first. If anybody has a question for me, go ahead and post it and we'll take it. Thanks for watching this video. I'm sure you were entertained. Make sure to stay connected with me on all your favorite social networks. Twitter and Periscope at Dre All Day, Instagram Dre Baldwin, Facebook /WorkOnYourGame. You can bookmark my YouTube channel by subscribing, of course, and the website is WorkOnYourGame. That's .me, WorkOnYourGA.me. And of course, my homepage is my website, DreAllDay.com, so you can know exactly what I'm doing, exactly when I'm doing it, and how you might be able to be involved. Work on your game.